Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so aside from that, so you got full marks for SoundCloud. I'll just share my screen with you for a second right here. Let me see. Share screen. Yeah, Google Chrome, share. All right, do you see my screen, Alex?
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. So right here at the top, I have your Jamboard, I have your SoundCloud, and I have your progress report. Blogger does not really matter unless if you end up using Blogger. You have the choice, right? So let's have a look at your progress report. So far, you got the bonus mark. You got it. Yeah, you did get attendance. I don't know why I don't have that down. So you got attendance. So you got 2 out of 2. Just a second. Yeah, perfect. Jamboard. Oh, so that should be 1 out of 2 for Jamboard. Just a second. And then 2 out of 2. 2 out of 2 for attendance. Beautiful. 3 out of 3 for SoundCloud, 3 out of 3. You did both of your homework tasks today, so that's 2 out of 2. And 2 out of 2 for attendance. Awesome. Oh, did you try the Kahoot quiz I sent you? No, you didn't.
I had so much work today. No, I wasn't able to.
That's okay. It's literally 1 question. I just want you to try it just to see if it works. That's the only thing. So just try it after class. And if you do it, I'll give you the 1 mark. Yeah. I just want to make sure it works. And then over time, I'll add more and more questions. Does that sound good? Perfect. All right, Alex, I thought today we should start with speaking. We should have a test right from the beginning. And then after that, anything that we don't do, we could work on in the future. Yeah, good stuff. Let's do it. Okay, let's try it out.
Just a second.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay, I'm ready.
Beautiful. All right, Alex, let's start with the part 1 right here. I'm going to start by asking you some questions about parks. Sorry. So first of all, do you like parks?
Yes, of course. I do like parks. It is one of the best leisure activities for me and for my kids.
Fantastic. Do you visit parks often?
Yes, we do. Actually, in Israel, there are about 5 parks within 5-minute walk around the place we live. I do not hear you.
Sorry. Let's talk a little bit about holidays. When was your last holiday?
Let me think about this. It's been a bit hectic here in Israel for us, so it's hard to remember. I think I can say that my last holiday was last autumn. Should I say autumn or fall? Doesn't matter. No.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Last autumn, when my husband and I went on a road trip to Crimea.
Fantastic. And did you enjoy that holiday?
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot. First of all, because it was just the 2 of us. And secondly, because I was so impressed by the nature of Crimea. It is very, very beautiful. One of the most beautiful places I've ever visited.
Stuff. Let's talk about movies. Do you enjoy watching movies?
Yes, I do. Not totally. I enjoy watching movies. Usually, depending on my mood, I choose a comedy or a drama. However, I do not watch scary movies at all.
Stuff. Do you have a favorite actor or actress?
There are several actresses and actors that I do like. These are just the old ones, Julia Roberts and else? I forget the names. Sorry, I always forget the names. I remember the faces, I remember the characters, but oh, it's Julianne Moore and Jennifer Lawrence. Okay.
Good stuff. And one more question. Do you go to the cinema often?
I used to go to the cinema often before pandemic started. And I think I went at least once per month, or maybe that's not often, actually.
All right, Alex, that's a minute. You may begin.
I remember exactly when and how I met my future husband. This was one of the most vivid impressions in my life. I was on my first business trip to Boston in 2014, and I was a bit nervous. I came to the office in the morning and I met a lot of people for the first time. I knew them. I talked to them on the phone. We exchanged emails, but we've never met. So in other words, I was very, very excited and at the same time frightened and very nervous. So at this moment in the morning when I arrived there was a guy who came up to me and started talking to me right away, like he knew me for a long time already. It seemed to me, I should admit that I did not really like him because he seemed to be all over the place and he seemed to be talking way too much and exaggerating things, and I was very it was very stressful for me at that time. So my first impression was not very good. So however, fortunately we saw each other on the next day again, and I started to realize that he is a very interesting person, that we have so much in common, and that we could actually talk for hours. So the main thing I understood from this is that the first impression is very often misleading. And it's actually not the only time when I meet a person I do not feel like.
All right, 2 minutes. Part 3. Let's move on to part 3. Okay, so I'm going to ask you questions about social media. Okay. How has technology and social media influenced the way that we connect with new people?
Recently, social media have affected our communication a lot. There are both good and bad sides to it. Obviously, a good one is that we can connect with people from all over the world. We can, for example, we live in Israel and we can talk to our parents and our family every day, and we do not feel like there's a distance between us. A bad thing is that it seems like people are starting to forget how to meet in person and how to talk, but I don't really think that it is true. I do not.
All right, sorry, sometimes that happens because my cat is screaming. Okay, awesome, great stuff, Alex. Let's just stop right there so I could give you a little bit of feedback. All right, so maybe you're feeling the heat, maybe it's getting a little bit intimidating, but for me, I don't see any problem with you scoring band 7.5 if you have easy questions. I mean, easy questions, you give answers with so naturally. I think we need to really find the difficult questions. I don't know what the difficult questions are. They're different for everyone. So I think for homework, for SoundCloud uploads, you need to find some difficult questions and practice those. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Okay, cool. So this is correct. You have an essay. In the modern world, the image, photograph, or film is becoming a more powerful way of communicating than the written word. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay, could you read, please, Alex?
It is said that nowadays visual products such as films and photographs are gradually replacing the, so to speak, written world. I am in belief that this is indeed so. Let me elaborate on this matter in more details.
Okay, cool. Let's have a look. So a few things right here. I actually really like your structure, like these 3 sentences, what you talk about here, great. So for task achievement and cohesion, that's awesome. I think right here, there are certain things we just say in detail. We don't put details. I don't know why. I would say allow me to elaborate. That's a little bit more formal, but honestly, we don't really use imperatives often in essays. So I would just say in this essay, I will. Yeah. In this essay, I will elaborate on this matter in more detail. Yeah. I am in belief that this is indeed so. Let's say I am of the belief that this is indeed the case instead of so. That sounds a little bit less awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, replacing the so to speak written world. Okay, this would be an adjective, 3-word compound adjective, so to speak written world. Yeah, or so-called. I think we would say so-called written world. Okay, good stuff. Could you continue, please?
The pace of modern world dictates new rules. People prefer to receive information as quick as possible. Films and photographs serve this purpose to a better extent than books and newspapers. The former gives you content and image at the same time, while the latter only gives you content and one has to use imagination in order to fully immerse into it. As a result, films and photographs, in fact, become more powerful, and have a quicker effect. For instance, I was surfing the internet the other day and came across the annual World Press Photo Contest. The images I saw there instantly captured my attention. They were so impressive and okay, possess such deep meaning that they forced me to dive into the stories behind these images.
Stuff. You could continue.
Nonetheless, the situation has not always been the same. Such a change in people's preferences for entertainment and learning using images is related to recent drastic improvements in technology that allows for constant enhancements in quality of pictures taken and films made.
Good stuff. This is probably well, it's missing something. Do you know what it's missing, Alex?
You mean this paragraph?
Yeah, this paragraph.
I don't know, conclusion or some, no?
A close example. Yeah, it's a really good habit to get into, to have 3 sentences, to have the outline sentence, supporting sentence, example. Yeah. So just think of something specific that you could put here, right? Such a change in people's preferences and learning using images is related to recent drastic improvements in technology. For example, 4D. So no, some movie theaters use 3D screens nowadays. Avatar spent millions of dollars on special effects. Like find a specific situation where this technology has led to a change in the experience. Yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on.
I thought I just a second, sorry.
No problem.
It's just too dark.
Yeah, yeah, it looked really dark. Okay.
Suddenly became too dark.
No problem. Could you read the conclusion, please?
To conclude, I should say that I'm quite inclined to the opinion that nowadays the image can encompass wider ranges of people than written word and hence affect them more. However, it does not mean that newspapers and books in both printed and online formats will disappear or have less impact on people all over the world. In my opinion, it is the balance of both that will prevail.
Okay, this is a great conclusion. I think this is one of your best conclusions so far. So excellent conclusion. But I need to go through here because these body paragraphs I think could use a little bit of work. So the image, photograph, or film is more powerful. Communicating. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So let me just go through this one more time. The pace of the modern world dictates new rules. People prefer to receive information as quickly as possible. Yep. The former gives you content and image at the same time, but the latter only gives you content, and one has to use imagination in order to fully immerse themselves.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to use this.
Yep. Nice. It's reflexive. As a result, comma, films and photographs, in fact, become more popular and have a quicker effect. For instance, yeah. Okay, this is good. So I think right here, you're just missing a little bit in the second body paragraph. And I think if you had a fuller body paragraph, that could bring this whole thing up to potentially 7.5. Yeah. I think without that, and the spelling mistakes as well, this would probably dip to a 7, because I think even though you have some small mistakes with like spelling and whatnot, you still do have a well-structured essay with good support and good reasoning. Yeah. So let's go down here. Just a second. For the task achievement. I think for task achievement, you do quite a good job, 7.5. For grammar, this is about a 7. Lexical resource, yeah, like you use great expressions. Like I am quite inclined to the opinion that that's a high level. Even when we say I am in belief that, and these kinds of prepositional phrases are great. Just sometimes there are mistakes, spelling mistakes that are made. So let's put that at 7, and I think C and C would be about a 7 as well. Oh, actually,
Can I actually, like memorize, let's say, I don't know, a certain amount, like 15 or 20 phrasal verbs in different transfer, no, whatever it is, however.
Transition words?
Transitional, right? Transitional words. And then just use them everywhere because, they're applicable to basically every topic, no? Like
exactly.
this.
100%. Like when we build vocabulary in Jamboard, I would say that's mainly for speaking. For writing, you could almost use similar phrases over and over again. However, my goal is to expand your vocabulary, but I do also want you to be work smart and not work hard, right? So that means just find which expressions you love, which phrases resonate with you, and then you could incorporate other ones if you want to. But yeah, focus on the ones that you really like. All right. Okay, good. So that's a 7. That's an overall 7 right there. Overall 7. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Perfect. Okay, good stuff. So let's move on then. So we have half of class left right here. So we're gonna go into the activities for today. I want to work on some of these speaking activities. And then after that, I want to practice part 2 speaking. Yeah, we'll practice preparing for part 2 questions. All right, just so
Yeah.
that we can get past it. All right, so let's start off with this first activity. We're at lexical resource, compound adjectives. Could you open that link, please, of compound adjectives? All right.
Oh, sorry, I did not refresh the page. Just a second.
Okay, let me know if I need to share my screen. I could do that.
Okay, I opened it.
Beauty. All right, great. So I'd like for you to go through, read a little bit, and when you're ready, tell me what is a compound adjective? What does that mean?
Mhm. Okay, so I have to read till the end or no?
Oh,
Just
no,
okay.
when you think you understand, just tell me what it
Yeah,
means.
I think I understand.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's just these are adjectives or compound words that act as adjectives
Good.
that are made up of two more words.
Yep. So most of the time, they are 2 or 3 words that kind of come together and they function as an adjective. Yeah. Even when we say so-called or so to speak, they come together and they make one adjective. Yeah. So let's have a look at some of these compound adjectives. We could come down in this list. We have short term, first time, long distance, fast talking, blah, blah, blah. Are there any adjectives that are new for you that you have never heard before?
Whitewashed?
Whitewash, nice. Okay, I'm putting this in your glossary. So we'll make it up to 50 words. So just a second. Okay. Whitewashed. Okay.
Self-effacing.
Okay, let's work on whitewashed first. This is
Okay.
usually a cultural thing. This is usually when we take something that is not from European culture, for example, something from African culture or Asian culture, and we change it a little bit. We make it more European or more kind of westernized, right? So that's why they call it whitewashed. Usually it's a negative thing. Yeah. Could you think of any examples of something that has been whitewashed?
Well, a lot of things in Israel have been whitewashed. I think I can say so. It's, for example, their food.
Yeah.
It has a bit of European accent in it, but it's still not very good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Food. That's a great example right there. Yeah. So that's whitewashed right there. Awesome. Any other new words, Alex?
Self-effacing.
Oh, where do you see that?
It's it's almost at the end.
Yeah, so self-effacing. I think that's kind of like self-depreciating Um, hmm,
Negative again.
yeah. Usually it's like when you're trying, yeah, when you're trying to act like noticeable, yeah, or you're drawing attention to yourself. Yeah. Wow,
Mhm.
that's actually a new one for me as well. Self-effacing. Self-effacing. So usually when you're acting very obvious, like if you're very loud, then you're being self-effacing.
Okay.
Drawing attention to self. Okay, any other one? Maybe one more. Find one.
Nope.
No, perfect. Okay, good stuff. So those are some compound adjectives right there. So I'd like for you
Or
to
sorry.
yeah. Mhm.
Sorry. Tightly wound.
Yeah,
That's
tightly
not
wound.
wound. Wound. That's an adjective, right? Or pronoun? No.
Well,
What's the
actually, that's a verb, to wind some. Oh, yeah. So wound would be an adjective. That's right.
adjective?
Yeah. Mhm. I'm pretty sure they might use it in a different way in Britain, but I think for us, tightly wound would mean um to become angry very easily. Um yeah, tightly wound. Yeah, springs off the floor. Oh no, it's somebody who gets scared easily. Okay.
That's me.
um the other being tense or on the edge. Okay, cool. Yeah. So actually it could be somebody who's like very scared, or could become angry easily. So kind of emotional.
Mhm.
He's scared. What scares you, Alex?
Just about everything.
Really
I
interesting.
mean, like spiders, bugs, and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know, just my son coming in the apartment silently and then showing up behind me. So a lot.
All right. Cool. Well, that's the vocabulary for this class. So we could close that down there. The next list is about collocations. Yeah. So again, after this class, I'd like for you to try to add some of these words to your Jamboard. So
Even
I'll
if
put,
I know them, right?
pardon me, sorry.
Even if I know these words,
No,
right?
not if it could be if you know them. So if they are new, or if you know them but you don't use them enough and you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
use them more.
that's exactly the case.
Nice. Okay,
I
perfect.
know a lot of words, but I do not use them
Yes.
since school.
Perfect. And if I see them there, I'll put them in your quizzes as well. All right.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go to the grammar. All right. And this is called the inverted conditional clause. All right. So I'd like for you to open up this link right here. Perfect. This might be something that you're familiar with already. It's quite formal. Okay, so this is something you could definitely use in letters or even in the speaking test. This is where we say should, and then we would use the third, well, not just the third person, but we would use the pronoun, and then we would use the first person conjugation of a verb. So for example, should I teach today? I will enjoy it. That's the same thing as saying, like, if I teach today, I will enjoy it. So all we do is take should and put it at the beginning, and it replaces if. Yeah. Have you seen this before, or is it completely new?
No, I've seen this before. I think I used it
Nice.
yesterday. Like, should you have any questions? Like,
Perfect. Fantastic. Excellent. Good stuff. All right, let's practice. I'm going to say the beginning. I want you to finish the sentence. All right. Should you pass the IELTS exam, what will happen?
Oh, I have to use my imagination again.
Exactly.
Okay, once again, please.
Yep. Should you pass the IELTS exam, you will.
I will be happy.
Okay, good stuff. Should you, let's say, should you lose your purse?
Should I lose my purse? I will report it to the police.
Okay, fantastic. Good stuff. You seem to understand that one right there, Alex. Good stuff. Let's have a look through all of this. I'm sharing my screen with you again. Oh my gosh. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So I just want to show you that you have 20 pages in here now. And the reason why is because on the final page, I'm putting a little bit of feedback on your SoundCloud. When I was listening to your SoundCloud, nothing was worrying me. I think you're on your way up to band 7.5 and band 8. I just put a few anecdotes, like I love Vikings, but I will put criticism. If I hear anything you're saying wrong, I will put criticism, but I didn't recognize any patterns right there. So just check that every time you do SoundCloud uploads. I'm going to give you some homework for next time. All right, so for next class. So number one, try to add to Jamboard, you know? Even if you only do 25 words for each class, then you get 1 mark instead of 2, but at least you don't get 0 marks. It's better than nothing. To Jamboard, good stuff. Number 2, SoundCloud. Find 3 difficult part 2 questions. Part 2 and 3 questions. And
So I should speak for 2 minutes and then read the questions and answer them.
yeah, exactly. Maybe for the part 3 questions, do 3 each. I hope that makes sense. Like, so you answer the part 2 and then you do 3 of the part 3 questions. Yeah. Okay. All right. Record each. Record each. Okay, cool. And then 2 homework tasks. General, I'll put in brackets. Good stuff. I just want to let you know something else. Sometimes in class, we don't get to things. Usually it's because I think you're already proficient with these things. So that's why I put this blue. I think you have a good understanding of collocations. Other things we need to do in the future. Okay, so this right here, I think we should do in the future. So after the 10 lessons are done, when the course is done, we will come back and we will do all of these things again. Another thing I want to show to you very quickly. Speaking course, yes. Asynchronous option. Do you see this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, every class, I'm going to make a video going through all the activities. So that way, if you don't do one of the activities in class, you could do it on your own outside of class. Yeah. And it costs nothing. It's completely free for you, right? The only thing, it will take some time for me to record all of these videos. But in the future, I'll hopefully have them and I'll tell you, okay, we couldn't do this today. You could go onto YouTube, watch the video. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
No.
No questions? All right, good stuff. Well done today. And if I use any of these recordings, I'll just send them to you beforehand. I'll let you know. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye now. See ya.
Bye.